In the heart of history, beneath the weight of superstition and the echo of ancient beliefs, there exists a story that defies explanation. A story of frenzied movement and collective bewilderment in the streets of Strasbourg. It is a tale that unfolds like a ghostly dance from another time, where reason and chaos intertwined in the summer of 1518. Imagine a city gripped by an inexplicable urge, where ordinary citizens suddenly found themselves caught in a whirlwind of unstoppable energy, their feet moving to an unseen rhythm. As the sun rose over medieval rooftops, a perplexing phenomenon cascaded through the cobblestone alleys, a dance that seemed both a curse and a liberation. The energy was palpable, the fear contagious, and yet underneath it all lay a mystery that called out for understanding. With every step and every sway, the narrative of the dancing plague beckons us to decipher its origins and consequences. In this journey, we delve into a world where the past meets the present, where history challenges our perceptions of human behavior, and where an ordinary day could turn into a surreal, almost mythical experience. This exploration promises to shed light on a historical puzzle that continues to fascinate and confound scholars and listeners alike. Beyond the enigma of the dance lies the rich tapestry of early 16th century Strasbourg, a city caught in the throes of religious fervor and societal upheaval. In those days, every corner of the city pulsed with a blend of devout piety and lingering pagan customs. The narrow streets lined with timbered houses whispered secrets of a bygone era, while bustling market squares bore witness to both commerce and controversy. Amid this backdrop, tensions simmered. Political rivalries, economic hardships, and a climate of fear coexisted with hope and resilience. Religion held a firm grip on the hearts of the townspeople, intertwining with daily life so deeply that nearly every event was spun with divine intent. Local legends and superstitions cast shadows over rational thought, fueling an atmosphere where the extraordinary was never entirely out of reach. Citizens believed that the heavens could exact retribution and that unseen forces could command human actions. It is within this charged environment, where uncertainty and reverence danced side by side, that the seeds of the dancing plague found fertile ground. Strasbourg, with its ornate cathedrals and vibrant public debates, became not only a stage for everyday life, but also an arena where the irrational could claim power. The historical context thus paints a picture of a society teetering on the edge, susceptible to phenomena that defied conventional wisdom, and ready to embrace mysteries that modern sensibilities might dismiss. Then came a day when the ordinary gave way to the extraordinary. Without warning, residents of Strasbourg began a relentless, uncontrollable dance that spread like wildfire through the streets. As dawn broke over the city, whispers of a strange compulsion passed from neighbor to neighbor. Men, women, and even children felt an irresistible urge, a pulsating, almost magnetic call to keep moving. Imagine a scene where the air vibrated not only with the sounds of daily life, but with the rhythmic stomping of countless feet and the rustle of garments as they twirled in the morning light. At first, many attributed the phenomenon to a whimsical, if peculiar, celebration. But soon, the dancing proved to be more than mere revelry. It was a disorder that defied the natural order. The citizens, caught in a trance-like state, danced through narrow alleys and wide boulevards, their faces etched with both awe and terror. Some danced with such fervor that fatigue turned into physical collapse, while others, in the grip of the compulsion, lost track of time and self, their efforts morphing into a desperate, almost fatal performance against an invisible puppeteer. The outbreak spread with a haunting inevitability, challenging the community's limited understanding of health and mind. What began as a curious anomaly escalated into a mass hysteria so overwhelming that it threatened the very fabric of communal life. Every sigh of the wind through the ancient arches, every echo off stone walls, seemed to propel the dancers further into an unknown realm where reason was lost in the cadence of a mysterious, unyielding rhythm. Scholars and laypersons alike have long debated the underlying cause of this inexplicable dance, suggesting perspectives that stretch from the psychological to the purely biological. On one side of the argument, the theory of mass hysteria emerges as a potent explanation. Within a society steeped in superstition and shadowed by relentless fears of divine wrath, of witchcraft, and of inexplicable misfortune, a collective delusion could easily ignite. Under this lens, the relentless dance was not a disease of the body, but of the mind, a mass psychogenic illness sparked by the convergence of cultural pressures, social anxiety, and an overwhelming desire for release. The notion of contagion was not limited to the physical realm. Indeed, the energy of fear and the weight of suppressed emotions spread from one susceptible individual to another, much like an unseen virus of the psyche. Conversely, another theory attributing the plague to ergot poisoning presents a more scientific angle. Ergot, a fungus that grows on damp rye, produces compounds strikingly similar to the hallucinogenic agents that can induce convulsions and seizures. In a time when grain storage was rudimentary, contaminated supplies might have made their way into the communal diet, triggering bizarre neurological reactions in those who partook. Under this framework, the ceaseless dancing was not a choice influenced by mental distress, but rather a physiological response to a toxic agent embedded within daily sustenance. The symptoms of ergot poisoning, muscle spasms, hallucinations, and hyperactivity bear an eerie resemblance to the behavior of those in the thrall of the dancing plague. As the narrative of scientific inquiry unfolds, no single theory has yet managed to explain every facet of the phenomenon completely. It remains a paradox where the boundaries between mind and body blur, inviting us to ponder how external stresses and internal vulnerabilities might converge to create such startling events. Both theories, though distinct in their origins, invite modern audiences to reflect on the intertwined forces of cultural lore and biological reality. A dance of ideas, much like the cursed dance that once stirred the streets of Strasbourg. Within the swirling chaos of the dancing plague, the personal experiences of ordinary citizens became tales of both sorrow and surreal fascination. Eyewitness accounts passed down through generations portray not only the physical dread of constant motion, but also the emotional toll that such relentless upheaval inflicted upon families and communities. Imagine an elderly woman, sitting in the dim light of her modest home, recalling the day when her beloved husband was drawn into the maddening dance. A man transformed in an instant from a calm, steady presence into a figure overcome by a force he could neither escape nor understand. In dimly lit taverns and over humble meals, residents exchanged whispered rumors and trembling testimonies of inexplicable episodes of dancing that led to exhaustion, injury, and even death. The human aspect of the tragedy is perhaps the most enduring part of its legacy. Even as centuries have passed, the story of that summer in Strasbourg has seeped into local folklore, evolving into a cautionary tale of community vulnerability and the mysterious power of collective emotion. Local artists have immortalized the event in paintings and literature, each piece a brushstroke or a written word that attempts to capture the terror and transcendent weirdness of the incident. Today, the memories of those who lived through it have become emblematic of a broader narrative, one that speaks to the fragility of human order when confronted with extreme psychological stress. The echoes of the dancing plague serve as a poignant reminder. Under the weight of cultural pressures and inexplicable mysteries, even the human spirit can be caught in a rhythm that defies logic and reason. As the frenzied days waned and the dancers slowly succumbed to exhaustion and despair, Strasbourg was left to reconcile the aftermath of an event that defied explanation. In the immediate wake of the plague, the city sought answers by turning to both spiritual healers and emerging medical authorities. The streets, once filled with the sound of uncontrollable movement, now echoed with somber reflections on the delicate balance between body and mind. Authorities implemented measures to calm the populace, invoking rituals and public prayers in the hope that divine intervention might restore order. Simultaneously, emerging observations of physiological symptoms led to early experiments in identifying the natural causes that had so thoroughly upended daily life. In the centuries that followed, the dancing plague of 1518 transformed from a singular historical event into a legend, a potent parable of communal vulnerability and the untamed forces inherent in human behavior. Modern historians and scientists have revisited the mystery with renewed vigor, analyzing historical records and revisiting ancient medical texts in a quest to unravel the true cause of the phenomenon. The legacy of this mysterious episode prompts today's audiences to consider how similar forces might lie beneath the surface of society, hidden in plain sight until circumstances conspire to reveal them. As I reflect on the bizarre dance that once captivated a city, it becomes clear that the story endures not merely as a macabre relic of the past, but as an invitation to explore the unexplained phenomena that intermittently surface in our collective human experience. A reminder that even in our structured modern world, the line between order and chaos remains tantalizingly thin.